right, so before the break, we were talking about the situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines would it ever make a comeback, and you were starting to tell me something about the banks.
No, the banking situation is a strange one right now. We have a lot of liquidity, a lot of cash in the banks.
Okay.
But the loans are reducing.
A lot of people are not getting loans.
Not borrowing.
Not borrowing.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people don't have jobs, so where are they going to pay loans?
The banks have a lot of cash. And they are paying interest to deposits in that cash.
Oh.
So now charging fees to get you to withdraw that money.
Wait. So if I had money in the bank and I want to take out...
They don't want to keep the money anymore because they have too much liquidity on which they have to pay a charge to the government or to the central bank.
Okay.
So they're trying to reduce it by giving charges to the customer.
Who have money in their banks.
Yeah. They want the money removed. So there's a lot of people have gone to the bank and have withdrawn their money because they now have to pay that charge.
Banks don't want to hold on to your money because they have to pay charges and people are not
and they're not on lending, yeah.
It's gotten that bad.
Yeah. RBDT had this roster run in the bank. Where hundreds of people went and took out their money because they're not prepared to pay the charges.
Wow. I think I did see something like that
No,
in the news.
that's
I did see that in the news now that you said RBTT. Wow, so St. Vincent is in some bad shape right now.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Is this...
And that's not St. Vincent alone.
I was just about to say that.
Yes. But our situation is pretty bad.
So St. Vincent's not the only one, but you're saying we have a dire...
Yes, the situation is very dire. Yeah. People sat in the banks at 7 o'clock in the night, waiting to have their money.
Wow.
For days.
So is a bank's in danger of collapsing in St. Vincent?
Well, they're trying to avoid collapse because they don't want to pay those charges.
Okay.
They have too much liquidity.
Not enough.
Very little lending. And they have a very high portfolio of non-performing loans. They have taken them out already, but people are not paying.
I remember being in my mother's porch in St. Vincent and Grenadines in Barely. We lived near the road and a young man was on the truck collecting garbage. This is not in any way to say anything negative about someone whose profession is a garbage man. It's an honorable profession. It is certainly an honest living. And so I'm not here to...
Yeah.
But my sister, one of my sisters was there with me and she said to me, that young man has so many subjects in advance. Can't find a job.
That's true.
And when I mentioned that online, one person said to me, well, here in America, a lot of people make a lot of money from a garbage man. And I said, I don't know about America. I'm not talking about America. I said, I know the culture that we all came from. That people don't go to get advanced, to do A-levels or A-level college, whatever you're calling it there, so that they could be a garbage man.
No,
you have people that would become a garbage man, but they're not going to that level of study. And my brother Brian Charles, who is an attorney here, and who has been, it's no secret that he's an opponent of the Gonsalves administration. He said to me there have been so many people, young people, who have come out of school years ago and never ever know what it's like to have a job, and a good job. And I don't recall it being that desperate.
It is a very serious situation. I know of a young lady who I spoke to just last week. She graduated 6 years ago from the community college. She's never worked. Can't get any jobs.
Well, I have a cultural retrieval program, and I do notice that a lot of the older children that I do not expect to see next year because they're out and they got their subjects, I'm seeing them. They keep coming,
It's very serious.
And somebody said to me, well, government is not supposed to be the person that employ everybody. And I said, I'm not saying that the government should, but I'm saying the government does have some
the economy is being stimulated.
To stimulate the
More
economy,
people get jobs.
And get jobs. They are expected to provide jobs to some section of the population. So, I'm going to ask you a very serious question.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I'm going to have the family.
Yeah.
Okay? And I want you to think about this. What would you like your legacy to be? I know you're a humble guy. I know you don't like anything that, put you in the spot, but I'm going to ask you to get there for me. What would you like your legacy to be?
I want to be remembered as a person who was devoted to my country, to those in the Grenadines, the people of my country, who made every effort to govern or to operate in a manner which promoted their interests. I spent 47 years and a little more to come in the public service, assisting the public of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, either regionally or domestically. I want to remember for that.
Okay.
That has been my life's work.
Okay.
I tried to be the best person I can from that perspective. And I really want to see a kind and a gentler society. And I believe I played a role in helping to develop that. Still a long way to go, but I think I'll be remembered for that also.
Well, that's a good memory. That's a good memory. Now, you have been married to the lovely Jennifer Eustace. How many years of marriage?
40.
40 years, wow. And you have 2 wonderful children, a son and a daughter, and 4 grandchildren.
Yes.
And you're here in the home of your son, all the way in deep in New Jersey, where we travel to come meet you. And relaxing. You seem very relaxed. You seem very relaxed. I am going to talk to Mrs. Eustace, and I'm going to have them both come sit next to you, and I'm going to just ask a few questions.
You want them next to me?
Yeah, I'm going to have them next to you. I'm going to ease aside, and they don't need to see my face. They just need to see you guys. And we're going to talk a little bit. You know.
Answer more honestly.
No, I don't think so. Someone said, I said earlier that someone said, being a leader is not about just forcing yourself on others or, deeming yourself a leader, but that your peers chose you, or you're chosen by your peers to be a leader. You strike me as I've met you quite a few times, but not in this capacity that we're sitting here talking. You strike me as someone who, being prime minister was not your goal, but rather it came with a package where you wanted to be able to help St. Vincent.
That's true.
To recover
from
the crime and the corruption and the things that are not working for that country. That whatever your decisions were, whether they were popular, whether even people within your party felt they were okay, that you wanted to do what was best for that country and for the people.
That's all.
Not I want to be, in office and I want to amass wealth and I want to put all my kids in this position and that position.
Don't use that word because I'm much worse off.
Because you've lost wealth. And I think people ought to commend you for that. And you truly seem to be someone who care about the country and the people. And I think that you ought to be commended for that. And you have my 13-year-old son dressed in black and white in his church clothes coming out because he felt that he cannot be in your presence and just wear his jeans and t-shirt. But you're someone that have a lot of respect for people. You mentioned about the gentleman who took that blow from the police officer for you. And I've heard similar comments of people that said they better not touch Mr. Eustace if it's one person. How does it feel to have that type of respect? It's a good feeling, right?
It is a good feeling
to have that kind of respect.
People respect you. It's a good feeling, And it takes some doing. Because very often you probably want to lash out. And you say, well, no, that is not going to be good for St. Vincent. The people of St. Vincent.
There was a recent thing that happened there, and I have a blog that I subscribe to called Caribbean Fever /Fever Eyes, and it gives all kind of update about things here in the United States and the Caribbean, and there was the Bukama Bay Resort, where tourists who paid their money went there and felt that they were ripped off because a lot of the workers on strike cannot get paid. And then the electric company cut off the electricity with those tourists in it. How do you see, whether it's ULP or NDP, recovering from something like that to have any kind of a proper semblance in terms of the tourist industry? I mean, is that not going to damage the country irreparably?
You probably don't know the latest information.
You probably don't.
It was put into receivership yesterday by the court.
So the Bukama Resort was put into receivership?
Yesterday.
Okay.
The judge gave a ruling yesterday. Mr. Brian Glasgow of the KPMG is the receiver.
Is he a Vicentia national?
Yes. His father was Mr. Glasgow, who used to be magistrate here years ago, but he lived most of his time abroad.
Is that a better thing for the people working at that resort? What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, but he is going to be managing the whole resort until the future is determined.
So is he? Who is he? Is he a part of the government, aligned with the government?
No.
He is a businessman?
The court is appointing him as the receiver for the company.
And which court is this? St. Vincent? In St. Vincent?
Yeah, the court. The judge same judge that did in our case. Gave that ruling yesterday.
Okay. So I know I look kind of staggered.
He'll be effectively in control of the country.
He'll be
until a determination is made about his future.
Because there are many people who said that they're worried that that resort is going to end up in the hands of either what they deemed or what they labeled the royal family of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or one of their associates. So is he an associate? No. Is he? He's not. He's just a businessman. Yeah. And again, I'm gonna press for this one. Do you think it's at least better than what's going on there now, where people can't get paid? That hopefully with him at least having it, having control of it, that maybe at least the workers can get paid.
I think the thing will close.
It's what?
It will close.
It will close eventually. So it's probably a dying dog, so to speak, that people are just trying to pump life into, and it probably is better just go to sleep and rest.
Yeah, and the gentleman is a citizen. Fully supported by the government all these years. Made political comments.
So I go back to what I asked before. So this is someone who's affiliated, not a member of the government, but affiliated,
not affiliated with the government.
Okay, not?
You know, he's a chartered accountant.
So he's not a part of the government, but is he a friend of the ruling administration?
No.
Okay, so
he's independent.
He's independent. So again, maybe that will save some jobs. You don't have much confidence.
It will delay the closure for the door.
It will be on a respirator until eventually it dies. So tell me, Mr. Eustace, and you might want to take a minute to answer this one. What would you like to say to the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines? Take your time. Say to the people of St. Vincent, you can look right in that camera and say to the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines.
I want to assure the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines that I have the confidence that the new Democratic Party, when elected to office, will turn our country around, both in terms of economics and in terms of morality. And I'm including in this, we will bring to justice those persons who abuse the public purse in St. Vincent and Grenadines. I promise that. We're working on that now. And I'll do my utmost to ensure that happens.
Do you think, though, that, I'm getting ready to wrap this up, but do you think that there lies the reason why the Gonsalves administration is fighting? There are many people who said that, including members of my family, who said, I think he is just scared what's going to happen if he's not there, like if he doesn't have that power. and the NDP is in office, then they may be prosecuted. Do you think that has kind of scared them to the point where they're saying, you know, we got to hold on here no matter what?
It will happen. They will be prosecuted.
You sure of that?
Yeah, it will happen.
Now, what measures do you think should be put in place to ensure that members of your party do not walk the same road as people in the ULP? You know, corruption, scandal, crime, high crime that nothing is really being done on, blurred lines of government, like where government shouldn't be involved, they're clearly involved. What do you say to those people who say that? What's your target?
You see, I know the people who I've worked with these years. I know their thinking on most issues. And I'm confident based on what I know about the operations, that a new Democratic Party administration will not function at all like ULP. There's more of a concern and a feeling for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Listen, sometimes I get so annoyed when I look at some of the things that can easily be done to bring back economic growth. For instance, you know, for the first half of this year, St. Vincent and the Grenadines imported $441 million, first half of 2016, in goods and abroad, but exported 55. The banana industry alone, in the stop here, brought in 100 million. Now all our goods are exported.
The banana is dead in St. Vincent.
Far from dead. The government has killed bananas.
Okay.
Bananas can be brought back.
Okay.
Easily too. Within a year.
It took a fall, but it could be revived.
It can be brought back.
We're always a fishing, farming community, and we fed ourselves. And we fed many countries throughout the Caribbean. My mother built her property and father from trafficking. Stuff down to Trinidad.
Agriculture has declined.
Yeah, Barbados, countries relied on us for food.
Considerably.
You know? What do you say about the fact that Dr. Gonsalves has seemed to me and many others as what seemed like a proud proclamation that, you know, X amount of people are in public assistance, or whatever you call it.
That's nonsense.
Without, to me, realizing that that's not a good thing if you have that many people.
Thing. It's far from a good thing. I keep preaching that. You don't boast about the number of people in public assistance. You boast the number of people who come off of public assistance.
Right. And are working productively.
You don't boast
there was also a lady in his constituent who was a poor lady, and who was being made fun of by Dr. Gonsalves. Many felt that it was cruel. He referred to her as her and similar people as some indigent people.
Yes,
and these were people from his constituent, no?
Yeah, but she is one of the people who does that, and that's why he's attacking her like that.
So she's one of the protesters, and therefore he was attacked. There was another issue where he has raised, I don't know if it's in effect, but he's supposed to be putting tax on basic items, food items.
He puts a VAT.
One of them being salt.
Yes.
To the point where he was nicknamed Dr. Salt.
Salt, yeah.
Or some people said Dr. Gun Salt. And one of the explanations I've heard, and you could tell me is that it was imposed to feed the poor. So you tax the poor to feed the poor.
Listen, the items, it was not only salt. There were a number of items that were VAT-free before. You didn't have to pay any VAT on them. He has brought on those items in the last budget, including the salt, to VAT for the first time. You didn't pay VAT on those things before.
But he said it was to feed the poor.
No.
But the poor eat that stuff too.
No, but all the items related to bread.
Oh.
Which the poor needs very heavily. So you're increasing the items that they want to buy most of all.
Right, that would sustain the poor.
And he gets some that? $8 million more revenue in a year. $8 million more revenue in a year. from that.
So what do you say to someone who thinks that it's okay to raise tax on the people and not to feed them?
Yeah. Listen, they have wasted so many resources. They're in so much difficulty now that they're trying to force the prices up for certain items, the duties up, in order to maintain, not to improve, to maintain a declining economy, a declining fiscal situation. In our budget for this year, 2016, we were supposed to do $197 million in projects. The capital budget, that's the projects. At the end of June, we have only spent 24 million.
Wow.
Half year. Out of 197. And from that, you're supposed to be able to give money to the tourism department. They don't have the money to give them. Because they don't have the money to do.
So we have crime out of control.
Oh yeah.
Corruption. We have joblessness.
Oh yeah, the joblessness. Listen, I estimate they usually give us like 21% unemployment. If unemployment is less than 40%, I'll eat my finger.
And do you believe that that is one of the elements or the contributing factors to the high crime rate?
Oh yeah.
People not having work and...
Exactly.
There's also the issue of the mental institution in St. Vincent and Grenadines. I was in the fancy area and went through Orange Hill. And I must tell you, I was pretty troubled and very scared because I saw the homeless people just littered along the street.
Yeah.
I saw some of them heading up to Sandy Bay area.
Yeah.
And they literally had their pots. There was another one who was cooking by the side of the road. I was a little nervous, and the person who was driving me said, "Nah, they're okay." Yeah. We went, and we were coming back, and it was late. And down the street from the ULP was having a rally that night. Before we got down to where they were, we passed Orange Hill, and there were these men along the road. After when it's already dark, mentally ill people. I have never been so scared in my life. And I've heard criticism about the fact that there is no psychiatrist on the island to address the needs of these mental health patients.
Sure.
So they're just being warehoused and put out of the way.
Yeah, but they're moved back to Kingston now.
They've moved them back to Kingston?
Renovations of the mental health center, and they've come back into town.
Oh, so they're back into Kingston.
Renovated.
But has the issue of a psychiatrist in the country?
No, that's not resolved.
I've heard, and I cannot attest to this because I've not needed medical attention while there. And my mother, who lives there part of the time, when she needs medical attention, I bring her out. I don't have her go there. But I've heard reports from people who said, we have to send out to get our own painkillers or medicine.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
In a public hospital.
That's a normal thing in cities.
Normal. So no psychiatrists.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The medical infrastructure seems to have fallen apart.
Oh yes, people leave the hospital and go and buy the drugs and go back inside.
Oh dear. And why do you think that nothing is being done to address this on a wider range? So like, for instance, you have CARICOM, what could their role be in this? Why is that not being addressed by them?
It needs financial resources from the government. There is an OECS drug scheme for all the islands where they buy the drugs together because they get them cheaper. Instead of buying for one island, you buy for 6 or 7 islands. So Vincent was in a race to drug scheme. They couldn't pay their share. And therefore, the amount of drugs we got declines considerably.
This is a question that I know a lot of people have regarding the Francois administration and the fact that the NDP believed there was fraud in the election. If there's fraud in the election, you're trying in St. Vincent to get somewhere. It's clearly not. The courts there is not getting any place. Why has the CARICOM or other outside entities not gotten involved? Is it that they can't get involved?
They will say they're interfering in internal affairs.
So there's no other body outside of St. Vincent that could help to kind of bring some peace to this one way or another?
And even agencies that come here, even for elections, they can only come if the government invites you.
So if the next election comes and the Gonsalves administration does not invite them in,
They can't come.
they can't come.
As observers. Only a government could invite observers.
Wow. And so when there's question about that government, no other body.
Yeah, they keep away. For instance, when St. Kitts had this trouble some years ago, I intervened. I'm the only person from CARICOM who headed up political party who intervened in St. Kitts case.
And there was rumors that you were going to go to St. Kitts to be their financial advisor because they were impressed with you. That was never the truth.
No. They were trying to get confidence motion passed in the parliament, and all the CARICOM countries backed away from it except me.
Okay.
Gonsalves was supporting the then government.
The previous one?
Yes.
Okay.
I supported the opposition in their request.
And they're now in office?
And they're now in the office. Not the Prime Minister.
Okay.
So because of that, we have a pretty good relationship.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by your family.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Thank you. We are here still at the home of the son of the Honorable Arnhim Eustace, former Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're about to conclude this interview. And I've asked the family to join us. They're very wonderful in staying quiet, the little ones. I've never seen such quiet children. And I've asked them to join me. So next to Mr. Eustace on the couch is his lovely wife, Jennifer Eustace, known to many as Jen, and his son, who is over to the right of the camera. And your name,
Ajani.
Ajani, because I have a grandson, Ajani, so I kind of think I remember that a little bit. And your lovely wife, what is your name?
IJ.
IJ. And I want the kids' names. So this little one is
Kalechi.
Kalechi.
And your name?
Ayende.
Ayende.
Your name?
What's your name?
Neka.
Neka. And what's your name?
Gigi.
Gigi. Such beautiful names. So I just wanted to wrap this interview up to just kind of have a little assessment. Mrs. Eustace, what has it been like being married to this gentleman, Mr. Cool, Mr. Clean, very calm and collective? Is he this calm and collective at home? What has it been like being married to him?
Yeah, he's basically quiet.
So what we see is what you get at home.
Basically, yes.
So you've been married for 40 years, and what would
41.
41 years. Wow. Okay, so 41 years. And what would you like for if anything, to say to people about your husband that maybe we don't know that could shed some light?
What do I say about him? What you see is what you get.
A good man?
Basically, yes. Of course, he has his faults like the rest of us.
Yes.
But normally he's quiet. He's not rowdy. And on the political scene, he says exactly what he thinks. And I think he has his constituency at heart. And economics is his forte. And he had plans for St. Vincent and the Grenadines that would help to lift a lot of people out of poverty. Basically, I think he's a Christian. We don't go to church as often as we used to, but
he's a spiritual person.
Are you? Yes. Yeah, I think so, but he's very quiet about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not rowdy. I'm the mouthpiece.
You're more the strong one. Okay.
No, but appear to be the strong one. Yes.
And so, what has he been like as a father?
Daddy was always a very understanding father. Although he's a fairly strict disciplinarian, he was always understanding. And I try to emulate that as much as possible.
So he has been your role model for being your father, your 4 children.
Yes, he's my main role model, I'd have to say, definitely. If I can do half as well, I think I'll be all right.
All right. Now, you have a sister, Maya.
Yeah.
And she's not here. She's back in the home country in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And I'm pretty sure she would be saying the same sentiments. Now, this is Grandpa. You guys refer to him as Daddy?
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit, what is it like having, you have a very famous grandfather, right? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. So what is he like as a grandfather?
He's a very kind and smart person.
Mm-hmm.
He's very understanding.
Mm-hmm. A nice grandpa?
Yes.
You love having him here with you?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Now, as to the daughter-in-law, you came into the family through marriage.
Yes.
So what has it been like?
It's been
From
a
your
pleasure. You hear the stories of people saying that with in-laws you'll have conflict and so forth. That's never been my experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been very welcoming.
A solid family, good
Absolutely.
family. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's wonderful, because not often you hear in-law or daughter-in-law especially say things like that about, so you must really be in good standing with them, and that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
So it seems from what we're looking at here is you have a man who is a stable guy. You have a stable family. And after 41 years of marriage, he has a loving wife sitting at his side who would be the first to say, he's not perfect, he's like the rest of us, but he's a good man. And a son who says, my father is a solid man, and I emulate him. I take a lot of my directives from how, in the way I raise my children, based on what type of a father he is. And a daughter-in-law who says, you hear a lot of stories about in-laws, and I have not had that experience. They've been wonderful people. So, Mr. Clean, Mr. Cool, this is my nickname for you, not just Mr. Cool. What does it feel like to have your family around you? At the end of the day, forget about all the politics. At the end of the day, you have your family solid at your side. Such love. I came into this home and I could feel the love. And I was saying to my crew earlier, I said, this home needs to be an HGTV. But most importantly, it's a beautiful home. But most importantly, is the calmness that I felt when I moved in, when I came in here. The children, the love. You guys are a beautiful family.
Thank you.
And I certainly wish you guys the best. And I know whatever you do in the future, it will be wonderful. And I know you would always have the best interest of St. Vincent and Grenadines, not just a constituent, at hand. And even when you were not entrusted to make, when you had to call on yourself to make decisions that were not popular and were not necessarily what people wanted you to do, you always did what was best for the country. That's true. Thank you very much, and we hope that you stick around in political life in some way. We want you to get rest. We want you to be able to come and spend more of these vacations with the family, but we want you to still be there, because I think many of us have that comfort level of thinking that you're going to be there in the background, giving some guidance.
That's true.
And make a better St. Vincent.
That's true.
It was wonderful having me in your home. I enjoyed it. I had a wonderful interview. I feel that I got to know Mr. Eustace a lot better. Not just the person I waved to or say hi to at an event. And I thank you guys very, very much. Have a wonderful time, everybody, and enjoy the Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And just try to get them up here more often. Yes. Okay? This has been a wonderful edition of Soulful Scrutiny, where we get deep into the soul of the people that we interview. We hope you enjoy this interview. We hope you'll get some insights into this interview. And we hope that you'll join us on the next edition of Soulful Scrutiny. Thank you.